So since December, we've got the safer wall that's started, pretty much about 70% installed at this point, or maybe 60%. All the safer walls have been delivered. Musco bases were put in, all the foundations in, all the wiring to those has been completed. We got our first load of Musco poles. Those will start standing tomorrow. All the siding on the suites, there was no siding on the suites at that time, so that's started, and we're about 80% complete with the siding on the exterior of the suites. We have dry roofs on everything, so we're not having any water problems or leaks. Plumbing and electrical's all been roughed in. Sheetrock's hung in the suites. First coat of paint will be going on soon on the insides. The exteriors have already started painting. Infield's been halfway paved, ready for another half paving starting tomorrow. So we've made a lot of progress. You know, naturally we had tons of rain through the last few months, but we've had some good days, and again, we did a lot of things in preparation to make sure we could keep working whenever we had those good days. You know, part of it's the infield. Naturally, the infield, dealing with the rain and cold times, things don't dry out. That paving, you know, of the entire infield just gives us so much more flexibility for future events, but it also takes care of us for NASCAR weekend, because we're going to have two series. We're going to have the trucks and the Cup Series here, so giving us that flexibility in the infield. The one thing that excites me a bunch on the new construction side is our Musco lighting. So Musco, you know, naturally this track was never lit, so now we're getting to run night races here. And with the new Musco lighting, we've gone with an LED system. And all that is now used to be breakers that turned the lights on and off. You had to wait 15 minutes if you turned them off for them to come back on. You know, all the things that are with sports lighting from the past. But now that they're LED, we can turn them on and off. They'll actually dance to music. We've got some really cool features on the inside lights that will uplight yellow when we're under caution, green when we're green. You won't be able to see that today other than just the foundation post, but really excited to see that put into place and you know, operated, especially for a cool event like the All-Star. You know, I think it's been a seize on us from the construction front to hold on to some of the old feel and make sure things flow, knowing how we are today when we have fan experiences. Like, we all go to stadiums, we all go to different places. This is such a unique, you know, you think of the Wrigley Fields and the baseball, the ball and stick sports. This is such a unique thing for racing. You know, Darlington's got their throwback, but they didn't hold on to a lot of the old stuff at Darlington. So here we were able to hold on. Like, when you walk up, there's not going to be this big fancy office building that, you know, the ticket office is housed into. You've got an old chicken coop that they turned into an office that is going to be here, and that's going to be the operations from it. You've got the old buildings, the old suites that there aren't your common suites where, you know, everybody's together, and you've got an individual suite for each individual company that has their individual stairwell, which is really unique to the sport. That's not something that's common. You know, from a construction front, it's been difficult to make all that work because we think still in the new and what's the expectations of the fans, but also trying to hold on to that history of Wilkesboro. So I think when the fans get here, they're going to get a throwback true what, you know, NASCAR used to be and what the facility used to be. The seats are long aisles, and you know, it's one of those, getting that experience you can't get anywhere else. It's only at North Wilkesboro Speedway. You're out in Wilkes County, you know, that's not something that every day that you can go to the Talladegas of the world or the Daytonas or the Bristols. You know, those are great facilities, and it was really fun to build Bristol, but this one is just a uniqueness that you can't experience at any other racetrack. It's been really rewarding. You know, one, just from the sense of Marcus's vision and actually making the boss happy, right? That's always the best one and the most important. But it's been rewarding because of the community. To come into a community that lost racing back in the 90s, that now has embraced it 100%. We go to town and you know, we're treated like rock stars, and you know, that's a bad cliche, but it's truthful, and it's so rewarding. And I think that's the part that makes this so special to me is you're bringing something back that people really want and truly have that deep desire to have it back. So it's just a reward of seeing their faces smile when they see the new construction and they see activity out at the Speedway, and seeing them stop by every day and asking how things are going. That's, again, you know, one of those things that you don't get to do a lot in your career, and to be able to bring something back that means so much to a community, I think has been probably the most rewarding piece of this.
I don't even know where to begin to describe it. It certainly surpassed anything that I thought would happen in 1 year. We were certainly pleased when we got the money to start the project, but we in no way locally thought that we'd ever get a NASCAR race back here quite so soon. But the support of all the race fans, not just local, but nationwide, they let us know real quick that they hadn't forgotten us, that they didn't want to forget us, and they weren't going to let NASCAR forget us. So it's awesome. It's a thrill to watch all this go so fast. glad that the weather held out this year so we can be ahead of schedule. Well, for me, my husband was the late Benny Parsons, who's in the Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Fame. And he was born and raised here in North Wilkesboro and lived here most of his life. And this was the place that got him started in his racing career. And when he knew that he wasn't going to make it because he died of lung cancer, he gave me a list of 10 things to get done for him, because my background is I came from Daytona Beach, Florida. I was director of tourism for the state of Florida for 3 different governors. He said, I know you can help these people, and you're friends with the Smith family, and you know everybody in racing. This has got to work to a great advantage that most people don't have. But I'm not sure that the Wilkes County people are going to accept you right away. Number one, they hate Floridians. Number 2, you're not born and raised. You ain't from around here, Terry. You know, it shows in an accent. You don't have one. So, and that was very, very true. That I had to make friends and get out in the general public and get to know people. And I thank Linda Cheek, the president of our Chamber of Commerce, for that. She didn't let me be here 3 weeks before she had me involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and I ended up chairman of the chamber the second year that I was here. And that helped me meet a lot of people and get a lot of people more involved in the effort of getting this speedway back. So it was Benny's passion, but somewhere after 16 years of working on this, it went from his passion to both of our passions. And I think that's what made the difference. Now, what the turning point was, I don't know. But at some point, it turned into my passion as well as his. And I think that in itself helped me a great deal. And it made people believe me. I had a text message from one of our largest hotel owners here in the area who said to me that, he said, I remember the day you first came in my office and said, I want to reopen the Speedway. He said, when you left, I said, poor thing, she's either delusional or she doesn't have a clue what she's doing. And he said, I'm just wanting you to know now I'm a believer and I'll follow you anywhere you go. So it took a while to get people to understand what this could do for our local community. But just in what's been done already, they certainly have seen the difference already, just with people coming to town, getting excited about what's happening. So you can only imagine what's going to happen opening day. Oh, I mean, all the guys, not just Benny, but all the guys that raced here, past, present, and hopefully future. They're all very respectful of all the history that has been saved here and hearing the stories that go along with it, because a lot of these younger drivers, they don't have a clue what went on here. They don't know the history of the moonshiners and revenuers. They don't know that in 1947 this was dirt and they all raced each other out here on Sundays after delivering moonshine on Saturday nights. They don't know the stories that we all do as locals, but they're about to learn because we're going to tell them.
Oh, it's a great big deal. I basically live within 300 yards, looked at Speedway every morning for years after it's been shut down. And, I think I was one of the only ones that kept thinking that this place would come back. And, when it did, it just, it just fills your soul, and Wilkes County, at one time we were one of the richest counties in the state of North Carolina back in the late 70s. And then we went down to almost one of the poorest because we lost our industrial, we lost Speedway, we lost a lot of stuff in this county. And this is a start. I'm seeing this being a start to bring Wilkes County back. Not only the Speedway, but to bring Wilkes County back, get us more jobs, get us more things to do here. And that's just real pleasant to know, And I'm a racer for myself. I used to race, and I won 5 national championships in NASCAR, but it was a goodies days. It's the 4-cylinder class, and won 60 races. And I've been around racing just basically all my life,
Did you race here?
Oh, yeah, I raced here. I won 15 races here.
I mean, the memories. Can you talk a little bit about how important those memories are to you?
Well, there's just so many memories besides racing. There's always, this is my home track, and this was the deal as far as me racing that, I just felt like I had to win up here. So I really worked hard to win at North Wilkesboro all through my life and career. When I was about 13, 14, 15 years old. I was in a water truck watering all the roads around here. I'm talking about at 2 o'clock in the morning, and me just a kid. You know, the big old water truck watering the roads, trying to keep the dust. And all the landscape's really changed since then. And then I'd stay in one of these buildings up here on top and watch the race cars at nighttime and stay up all night long just to watch the race cars, make sure anybody didn't mess with the race cars. You know, I've basically done it all. I've dug post holes. I've done, you know, I went to where, you know, mowed the fields. I just, you know, it's just one thing. It's just been, you know, that was my life. This has been my life. It's basically racing and things are done. It's Speedway.
What do you want to say to people who they'll be coming up here for the first time? They'll be experiencing the NASCAR All-Star race here for the first time. What do you want to say to them specifically?
I just want to say I hope you have a good time, and I want you to know this is Wilkes County. You're going to have a good time here in Wilkes County because we always have put on a good show here, and it's going to be one of the greatest shows that Wilkes County's ever had. We'll be coming up in this race, All-Star race.